Odi mandi omane guy nti aya na chiata gokwa ni hemme mai tata dika isi we kwuo no nkwa na nwere okpulukpu anyị no geji we no ka odi man nke tata isiokwu anyị nwere bụ bringing back the spirit of volunteerism in our society nya bụ iwe chiata mmụọ ịlụ ọlụ obi ebele n'obodo anyị onya bụ okwu anyị ga-enebanye anya taa anyị na-eme ihe mmemme ata in commemoration of the 2024 World International Volunteer Day for Economic and Social Development. Makiaka Ijiwenoleba, we so look everybody world over in commemoration of this particular day. All be a bele, I'm an ufodonona fiafaro email odifafo. Nyabo volunteerism or be fefala runku, kumakaloega, lelosia, or regine expert in return. But because that you have that kind of spirit to be of help to people who not need. If una obu higane may name wafo juna obi jafo. I nekwanya kosi where dikita afuno fodo achorodo legion to where no makia. They don't even want to join. But then again, I got on a studio this morning, idne kumba odi. Nyabo ilo nyabo olu obi obele mobo olu afo fufu. Wefu kai gesi wenyelo madi bayaka. Ongo kwandi obe na hano na studio this morning genyela yaka ikawaputa ihe ni na ikwese ma basalo volunteerism and then why this day was actually set aside in commemoration of World International Volunteer Day for Economic and Social Development. And you're behind a hand on our studio this morning, Bo Peculiar Arinze. Peculiar Arinze, Bo Disaster Management Coordinator, Nigeria Red Cross Society, Anambra State Branch. Oh, I know no totwa. I know again no ring any son your line, ni him my Peculiar.
The Bani and Masino Tutoma, no one about it.
All right. Peculiar Bukwa, also Branch Youth, Gender and Volunteer Coordinator, Anambra State Branch of the Voluntary Organization. I'm with Mr. Joseph Ubidikwe, Nyawabo Branch Communication Coordinator, Red Cross, Anambra State. Norine Joseph.
Thank you very much.
Igbo language, okay? So, I gave you the good na ikawaputa, ihoputara. No bolo na made weputo me, say, neacho, elo, olo, volunteerism. Kede ihoputala, and I got chokwakai water, mba odi. When someone someone decides to, live a life volunteering to do one thing or the other for the society. Nyabo, kaisi weko we anigbo, olo obi ebere, olo afofufu, olo madaganalo, or an expert at the end of the week or at the end of the month, name will gaga. Yeah, can be there be no peculiar.
Okay, ndewo. Olo obi ebere, the kisi okuonya, is a very beautiful job, can boy like that. Even though now on a fair and the mother elo, it is all abo in a mere a dissatisfied, that is afo juju. Because now most times lo be able, but out of compassion. In a concert they can then agoka. When the Bible says Jesus Christ already moved with compassion over somebody. Most of miracle Jesus Christ may say they now console bo out of all will some of which of so what am I saying? It is all kwesiele mad doom no bodanya. And at the end of the day, it is satisfied because now you have been able to remove ifam pumpa more that in nachin up madondia. In a just like we from Nigerian Red Cross Society, to Red Cross is humanity through a man called Sergeant Henry Donant, both from Geneva, Switzerland. This man was a businessman. Nagaro were on a business trip to another country. So many years. So on his way, he met aftermath of a battle between the armies of three different countries. nụrụ ọgụ ife ọfụrụ ebe a ndị nwa anwụ ndị ọbara na-ewusisi ndị na-enwere enyemaka ọ suspend their business ya ọ bụrụ medical person ọ bụrụ onye amị enwere just one agara wee business suspend the anya hey ka ike si kenye ndị aka the next thing ọgbagharịba ọkpọta onye anọ ọchọ ndị nọ n'obodo ngwa biko nyego m aka buje onye a na hospital buje onye a na school a na-enetefe anya the next moment ọ jee n'ụlọ ọgwụ kwekara obere ogo si ya biko mewekweni ka o jee ọbata before ọ bịa continue the business ya mgbe o jesi nata o wee debezie report n'ife ọfụrụ. That was how Red Cross came about. Till today, it is still sustained. And that is why, in most places, if Red Cross, that is why somebody in Red Cross maybe other business on them. But no one was then teba on map. Generaka, keche bandage, menka. That's why no naboko or jamaka, imagunyaka, food service, kobu defena gaga. And by the time we see the joy, bona, omego kando, barachitere mado. That is always baby, which is also awesome.
Kaibia na your own opinion, this volunteerism, the perception of volunteerism, kidutu siwe digi ko we go over the years. Now when you go a brief history of how Red Cross came about. Now over the years, over decades, keduko siwe go and keko siwe help go do when it comes to its role na social development.
Okay, maybe though from Otosi go help in social development.
Okay.
In Yaketa, Ifona, just like he was trying to make reference to Red Cross, anyway, a lot of program to help people, like renovation of certain houses that has happened, like within this period. Within this year, Red Cross as an organization alone has helped to renovate some houses in some villages. And then they've also done things like a cash transfer that's in Yende Madi Ego. Okay. And then purify water, like boreholes, some villages, places like Obo Family, to be precise. I know we went there and we renovated some of their boreholes. Now, talking about development, if you look at development in the context of, in our context, it is having access to good water, right? And in a larger frame, having access to good living, right? And only in we renovate million. I feel that is development to the people there. Makande na ngubu, ndi na ngubu mire si na well we kute, or mire si na mire abata na river. Iweje nyeleva kafana nguzi mili abata na pump. I think it's a very good development. And apart from that, due to this volunteerism, it has helped a lot of people to achieve being saved during cases of emergency. If we look at this year alone, the statistics, we've responded to more than 20 accidents that would have cost a lot of people their life, but because of timely intervention. And I feel that is development, because there were times when people would just, accidents will happen, and then because there was no timely intervention, people would die, and then I say, hey, but now, because of this volunteerism, in fact, sometimes accidents happen, some people just park and say, you get, unlike what we used to see, that there was no means of transporting people when accident or emergency happens. So that's when you are looking at the development this thing has caused. Now, in Anambra alone, we've made mention of the cash transfers and then people being helped to renovate their houses. Those are all development triggered by volunteerism, because Red Cross as an organization is a volunteering organization. There are other sister organizations that do this volunteering, that have volunteers that help, and they've all helped in this development we're talking about.
Odi Madalorine, coming back to you, Peculiar, aina ya funa dika isiwe kuna olo biebela nyabo olo ya madalocha oda pogo. But then again, in all these activities, Joseph outlining golo, going about imago, renovating boreholes and helping out people in need. I don't know how you finance all those projects. I think it's important to talk about that. And then again, on work. Support from government globally, nationally, if we carry out these activities or the plan to execute as an organization.
Thank you so much. There we go. Mr. Joseph he appointed some sister agencies.
Yeah.
Not going to volunteerism and all that. Yeah, going back to Ifejo, KCR financier. KCR financier don't want to fana or as the presenter this morning. I put a phone and museum with the born name and don't actually, in fact, all destroy good things. People need the Yamaka. And what a beg for it, we can write to you. I did get letter na biko and we go in and one way penny. I want to go send Yamaka. It's in what we're 2 naira non king monk. 2 naira GIJ support on the after. This is the way the financing goes globally. In this part of our country, the flood, just like if and all that. Anambra East, Anambra West, Obaru, all these places. Is in as in this other day, men and them, some organization I did assessment during flooding. More than how many hectares of land in them mother so you feel that now these people near the market and what if you find we keep so at the end of the day we have to start writing to people, individuals, including my government. They just 100 about mother abuanye the kaka finally kaka is saying that is the way it happens. And that is why IJT now say people all the kwana mma bianan onye obula tinyaka all volunteerism in this world of excuse me modern day social media accident many the next person boost of here if you able couple the first person post to here oya ko ba ka say nyaka ai ke bi onya no ke chokwa moto che ke jibu no mo ke make otu anan there were in those days on abo na yard public yard nwanyi nwe ike di ime enwe ike ime aban ime mebe ya pepe ndị yara gbasisi ya ekuru onya ejibu no but odiko na ana everybody na chocha ke wetenye so we are calling on everybody can return the spirit of volunteerism back to the society no yenyaka.
And to add to Kumaka funding, we have major partners too that fund, like ECOWAS, like the last distribution, places like Obufemili and then Obaru, yes. It was funded by ECOWAS.
Okay.
So we also have other partners like European Union. All these people are funders of the Red Cross activities.
Okay. The Imana Aquarobuna World Volunteers Day, and then with theme and a website that we, gabble the form the cross of a topic or discussion everywhere around the world. Fondina is so commemorated the day. And this year's theme, Badulukuna, recognizing volunteers' contributions to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. That's the theme for this year's celebration. Then ajujum webolo dika isiwe kawana imana our topic bu ikpochiata more olo inyala aka nwa olo biebere analo because if you now some people they are no longer interested in doing that. Now with this theme in place, known as this kind of society, Red Cross society, that they are doing a lot. How can this theme more people back into this volunteering work and then encourage you people? Okay,
thank you so much. And when if my boss will be an office one of the days, now na normally na na-enwe appraisal also ya n'oyibo appraisal abụkwa esi ndeme enwere ụzọ si enye na n'ikute mmiri kunye m na isi ga thank you kwano ịgbanika I think na echi inwe opportunity dey ekwe mmiri ọzọ and that is more reason why oji dike nwe ozi ndị na volunteer in our organization. I have a boss na abo pipi o were 2 naira nye gi sige maka ije ijere ni mbosi eni pipi o were 1 naira nye gi sige in fact if you see igba moto ni igba moto je ife dey no all before na eme all that appreciating the volunteers and upon ko na eme ya nke nwa ge nwa afọ ojuju iji continue ka inwe ike na it continue because na ani dey gife no onye imeri ife we can go say thank you and e watch ya asokenye enwe nwata ka ga bo imesiara ife o mara ka say thank you mo ka say ndewo chief ta say obro mazi anada amaka ekene ihe nwezi mmụọ iji wee sị ka imekwara ife ọzọ so if that na in recognized volunteers with a long way to go and at that point can do they recognize both individuals the government organizations. It's not a big deal if I say okay somebody I know some years ago on the traffic it was in all some time so man that man na age he got to a point now obianisti ona ko 8 abana o can never na ekile moto. I discovered that now some people potazie fan wan eji akafa kwesti in fact the man when bombe say amara ma accident ko ife me ya n'okwu okay ya bandage oburu ya na akwu ebe af and do potase ge kwesti ka moto nke agafe ngo ya kwesti maka na ọ na-alụ ọ bụrụzi ife akwụrụ ya ụgwọ na ọ na-alụkwụzi ọlụ ebu ebere n'ime ya nke o ji anọgide ọ na-akụ 8 nke abalị now people ọmụtazie ka apụtara enwere ndị nke bụ apụtara ha agụkọjuo ife ọ bụrụ ị chọrọ mmadụ 200 naira 500 naira fa agụkọ ife paaki ya kpọọ the man si ka eme ya appreciate. I think the spirit of the man ga-agbagote na ọ continue kwe na-eme ife ọ na-eme. Thank you.
Okay. Just before you add to that, I have a question for you. Yesterday, and I add a question. So we're talking about like all volunteerism. Amam nezioku na ono na ganiru diaga bodo dichichi. Just like you mentioned, obodaga golo for intervention. You know, all those rural communities or hard to reach areas. You go about to these communities. Nyalo ha kaifuna some of their needs. Na no help o kahawe nwetia. But then again, amam na iha ada adecha so easy, for you people when you are, going there to fulfill those responsibilities. So I want you to also add some of the major challenges they face and this part of the country. And then again, kedu issues na tackle kale na this part of the country too.
Okay, some of the major challenges I will access to the villages.
Okay.
Like October, one of the intervention I make, I noticed Anambra was Abuna Mili Tochigo. We could not access it, and there were no boats. There were no speedboats to take us across the country and across the particular community. I know to the next community. So Obia Warantiana, I had torn na nyama mbunu mmiri maka na anyị na-eji nyere ndị mmadụ aka. So I turned on. So you see that it became a major challenge. And then another challenge anyị na-enwekwa bụ the understanding of these people. The understanding of these people. Now sometimes some communities, you are coming to help them, but in their head, because of men, the people have been scammed over and over again until they now see everything as scam. So you cannot do mad ajuju or ne feeling na ndia no draw the show of yende abial Why? Because they don't have knowledge that there are people who really come to help them. So, mana although sometimes MHS biazia mewe like nyewe heya, as far as nyewe behanaka you obuneku, most people don't listen. So even when you are trying to educate them, like these flooded areas, imagona ina keleva ye ina kawakwala hana ane lutekwe this season ne kunu yesi neme. So even when you are trying to teach them life-saving techniques, they are not interested. So that's one of our major challenge. What they are interested in is that's the only thing they want to know. So those are some of the challenge that we face. And of course, security challenge. Because sometimes you're going to some of these areas knowing that you are a volunteer. And you've heard a lot of things going on. Sometimes, some of those places in them security challenges. So these are the challenges that we face. Then, to add to what he was saying, outside Red Cross, how do we motivate people to start queuing into this volunteering thing? I think it starts from the family. Because back in the days, my the no mazi, my foi no outside when we want old woman na galo nwa ko bu mmiri. Kedi o ya agwai, o ya si jebulu ya o kido salo mama. Okwa. Mana kita we see a lot of people, they say it's not my business. So one of the major places we should start looking at is this kind of programs to advocate that people really begin to volunteer. Now, when people hear it, because then our parents used to do the work, and that's why sometimes EMLA, people are willing from the depth of their hearts, they want to help because they came from a place, they are trained unconsciously to react to people's need. But now that things are going a little bit outside what it should be, advocacies like this kind of programs that people listen to, when they listen to it, they know that it is in place to really help people. So that is...
Part of the challenges, just like in Oku,
I think Anamo was it Abuja, so I bought on my phone. Volunteers by Kobo. If I cross one, in fact, many phones got lost, about 2 or 3 phones. Intended volunteers. Makanobo will go to me. Even in that point, phone on a on Anna. Even though not brought deep water. No, maybe go. You see, part of the challenges. Now, at this point, when you're very near Madaka, lose thousands of naira. Now, part of the challenge, and we're going funding. Just assessment, mobile 2 annual Ijubara, all those things. And I chose to get a faka. Manage your Ganaka. And work on the Fijinaka. You have people and work on the that is where you have for the busy again. Can you check a quick eyes? I feel in the Mugun Kenata.
That's understanding.
Understanding. Man, upon a phone enough for it. That time maybe at the first time. Check, you know, Iju Megundiano more, Manife Megundiano. Then, na cake is getting a faka. Upon all you get a busy, 1 cup in your fa. At least, in your Gofankana. If you also, and we hope. Then, I bet if also a June, Kedifebu are major work. It is scattered all over the places. Disaster response, you know, emergency first aid, health and care, a lot of things. Now, the Red Cross, and we will see a way to intervene. Now, we know you discover the Red Cross, go partnering with health centers, a lot of things. The work is scattered all over, and even in Apotakwana, in Yeraka.
I can again na iweta ihe mmemme n'ụtụtụ a mana question na di o nwere ndị anyị gbara ajụjụ ọnụ people we interviewed on the street concerning reviving the spirit of volunteerism. Ikpochiata nyabo mo eja lolo bi ebele be kakaisi we na aghọta na nkọwa anyị na-enweta n'ụtụtụ a ọ na-afịazi ndị mmadụ arụ due to one thing or the other. Ụfọdụ ya asị gị ka ya chọgodo ọlụ nke ya alụ ka ya na-enwetagodo ego ya ji azụ family ya tutu ya wee kwube okwu je lụọ ọlụ obi ebele and all that. But all we are saying is that ihe abụbụ ihe eji wee mala ọ ihe anyị na-emebubu emebu, and then ndị na-eme can survive up till now. So
well.
we can also start inculcating that values on our children. Joseph say no gebido no muaka. But then again, I want to fault you on that, because parents, they can't give what they don't have. Most of these parents, they don't know about volunteerism. Hamara makolo oluebele. Especially when we come to this Gen Z generation now, they don't know about it. Or probably the parents so they didn't pick it from them. Now, how do they even teach it? It's not possible because they don't know about it and they don't know the importance of that. Manaigana Bambo, this platform is a huge one. I know when I was at UC, and then I'm going to once in a while, and the Red Cross and where awareness campaign had created to talk to people about this. But Kaije go do weta ihe ndi agbala ajụjụ no ihe nwere ikwu gbasara reviving the spirit of volunteerism. Let's hear that.
Community and the country at large stands a lot to give from volunteerism. For volunteering is the spirit of giving without being asked. Is it not? That is it. But by my own definition, you give without being asked, willingly, from the heart. So the community and the country at large, even as individuals, everybody has to gain from that. One is spirit of stomach satisfaction. The government has to try to ensure that everybody feeds well by creating job opportunities.
Okay, for us to bring back the spirit of volunteerism to our society, we need to have a good mindset. We know that the country is hard. People are supposed to try as much as possible to help each other in one way or the other. The society affects what we give to people. The religion, the Christian religion, what we learn from the Bible, it depends on what you be able to can give to your people. And our family brought up. When someone is raised from a good family, it also plays a part. But what my own suggestion, what I feel that can bring back this spirit of volunteerism is within us. If you have that conscience that people are passing through a lot of challenges and you feel you can help, try as much as possible to reach out, especially this period of festive season that's fast approaching. The little you can help to help the next privilege, people that need this help, you try as much as possible to help them. So that's what I feel. Just your mindset. Yeah.
The government should try, at least they should try and hear the cry of the masses. So many people are out there suffering. The rate of starvation in Nigeria right now, man, it's on the high side. Everybody's feeling it. There's nobody that will say he's not feeling it, he or she is not feeling it. So the government should try and know that, yes, these people are their subjects. They should try and do something. Because at the end of it all, we'll be back there, we'll be saying this is supposed to be like this. You see, even those people that wants to help will not help. They won't help, because I believe if you help me, I'll help somebody else. Somebody else will help somebody else. It goes round. But right now, I'll call it, in fact, I'll use the word, it's not wickedness, it's more than wickedness. It's too much right here in our country right now. So please, the government should try and do something about it.
Before we go into what we have to do to bring back the spirit of volunteerism again, we have to also look at so many things that really has dwindled the spirits of some people or some citizens in this regard. And number one among this is, which is a major one, is the harsh economic condition. Now everybody wants what he can do to really be able to make ends meet. Of course, when you're talking about volunteerism, it's just as the name, implies, is something you do for free that would equally, have its beneficial effect on others. Going by our economic condition, you'll find out that a lot of people, have been able to, really get it off this time around. But just like you were asking, what we need to do to bring back the spirit. I think number one is we still have to develop that, sense of humanity in us. We all are human beings. And when we are, whatever we do, when we volunteer, it's with that sense, that others are benefiting, humanity is benefiting, from that. It's not necessarily, you're going to get, cash reward or, whatever reward in whichever, time when you volunteer. But let's, have back amidst, whatever condition we are passing through, harsh condition we are passing through. Let's bring back, to mind that, human spirit, that we all are human beings. And definitely we are here, to help each other. I think with this in mind, it doesn't matter what we pass through, we still, have a place, of volunteerism in our hearts, knowing truly well that when we do, we are equally, helping our fellow human beings in one way or the other.
Welcome back to the show. Ayana Chiatagokwazo, for our respondents, they really spoke well concerning this issue of volunteerism. And a lot of them now saying a reason why in the madu natural the harsh economic realities that is facing us in the country. Now madaga fugodunego juelini and all that before we could bear all ill. But then again, I'm no is yokukasi because I'm a gomunding where they have enough in their house, but they cannot even bring out the little out of the abundance that Hanwell in Behaka. So coming to you, Joseph, some of them the government should try as much as possible for change the economy of this country defavorable. Or for those in the government to get try so everybody na the spirit of volunteerism na government because our government
okay, yeah, Basaro, as much as government have a role to play in what we are talking about, and people also need to understand that volunteerism, it's not only money that people can give.
Okay.
When you talk about, you can volunteer and give your time. You can volunteer with other things that is not money. So, for instance,
if you could go before now, at the end of the day, you just call no if you're not before go ahead. I'm just
yeah. Okay. Here is the truth. For people who are volunteering,
yes,
it must not necessarily be. It must not necessarily be money. And then, and I say no government. Here is the truth. Government have a role to play in it, but having a good heart is not government dependent. What we are talking about, every parastatal have their own role to play, starting from the government, religious leaders, and family, which is the basic unit of every group. Mm-hmm. Family. I mentioned earlier about how back in the days, our parents used to inculcate back in the days, not currently. Like back in the days, our parents used to make us know. It's not as it used to be. Our parents used to make us know that it is compulsory to help that person by your side because of certain characters they display. And in fact, I'm using Red Cross as an example. A lot of volunteers we have today were because their parents were volunteers. So it is not new to them to do a job and not be paid because their parents, taught them that it is okay to actually volunteer and do things without getting paid.
Expecting anything
Yes,
in
without
return.
expecting anything. Because what you give in volunteering is your spare time, actually.
Ebono kapuzi njoketa bụ na ụfọdụ nyekwelu mmadụ ibe ha aka ya apụta ọ na-asị gị enyi a na-eche na ọ na-ajidelu m mgbe oge elukwa ka gị nwa anyekwale aka nke
part of what you say. If you can say government, yes, government will role to play.
Yeah, like this, we are talking about economy and all those things, fine. But now, can you give an example? Then I got Fenezi, only moto, maybe an old man, bu moto naga, tire moto ya dafo. Emago, Ona na ka ma onye ga-ewetere okwute ka o tinye na wage me fa there na old man afugode ba no. He need the government. He need the economic something. In the yaka. But by the time he went to okwute, mo iwe vri yaka tia papa moto ga no taye adakwa afọ. When we come around, you've really volunteered beyond what you can imagine. Because now, when we come around, before they say we will tell when the problem. Man, I need what I opaque here instead of going with problem. So, like he said, it begins from the heart. Upon way the mindset, and the day near Kesia engage them. In a mere normally, freely, you just want to. One of our volunteers, last week? I went function na Oka here. I bought in a phone. When that children train on first aid, on his own, on her own rather, the lady. One motor still on each other. This is a girl man. On our tray go, Ojimezu go. What wash up we boy? Ebon and in the business here. Man, no way. Recreating come with. Buy motor. Beboka. JD training. Data. Buy motor. Never call away. Mindset. So it's high time we begin to, and in our that such person more opportunity for something better tomorrow. Won't I remember her? Because only me because no na when you na chop. Only me way normally or she enjoy doing it. One of the days she enjoys doing it. So what are we saying? It's not just on the side of government or economy and other things, but then our mindset, which is very necessary.
I think because lately I saw a social experiment on social media. Somebody just make an old person. People were just passing by. It was just one person that came to help out. Because no focus in the person disguised a long way, not an old person that needed help. And then we see some of these kit makers, they keep on, re-echoing this thing that that spirit that was there. People learn where was the time. People they had concentrated just themselves to go about their business, make money, and that's it.
And that's another problem.
Okay, now we talked about the religious leaders, the schools and all that, and then the traditional rulers, our president generals, can do role how to play in reviving the spirit of volunteerism?
One of their major roles, when we talk about traditional leaders, one of the major roles they have to play is they themselves living by example. As a traditional ruler, people know when you are genuine. People know when you are honest. People know when you are helping them. And once this is perceived, let me tell you the honest truth, people will want to replicate it. We have a man that everybody was echoing his name within the election period. Why was everybody echoing his name? This is a man who have said, go and verify what I have done or what I said I did. Do you understand? So one of the roles that our traditional rulers have to play is to first lead by example. Then, of course, encourage people, create activities that honor people who have done things that is worth like commending. There are people who represent, who do things for the community. Create activity, create occasion to honor them, so that people can see in your community that you respect and honor people who make sacrifices. That is one of the roles I think they can play. My colleague can add more.
In addition to Foku,
with one man named Traffic Walk Nozo. Did you know that everybody knows when you're born? You know, and we Foku creating opportunity and way to recognize. Sometimes they on the kind of recognize them maybe na or something like that. My friend, upon a such person I know lazy, and what on your mind and what on your book. Man, I've gone on a mambo. Neither in them madaka. Now for that without word near. Every other person got talk all day, they man to we cannot award in here. You dare me have to get something from that man. Like a name and one goji. In a mere because now this man I want to go. Can you get him? just apụta n'obodo na nwoke afọ na-akwụ n'ezi ebe na-ekili na une anụ adị ebe na-alụ ọfụrụ na-eki ya were ya kwe ma n'ime good man encourage ise na ọ ya kwụsị ọlụ afọ and if other person they will testify na nwoke agbanịkwa na and onye nọ n'akụ ka sị ịbụ ezigbo mmadụ dịkwa mma o maka na volunteerism bụ ezigbo mmadụ ka na-akpọ ya ihe aka ga na-ekwuzi n'obi fa so ebe ọ bụla ọ nọ ọ ga na-agbazi mbọ ka onye bụ aka. This is the way to revive, and it boils to our traditional rulers and the government and everybody. Such a thing, just recognize, let's appreciate all these people.
And even if you check, back while we were growing up, when we saw some rules then that when we were in the village, right? I say na Fridays or Saturdays. Now you to need no obodo ya pụta dozie ebe ezi. Yes, na na be kochagota. Obo na ndi awafia eri egi nra. Mmadu niile ahụ enuru je ebe bia na ya achọ iri gi nra. Now, onwekwugwa ya akwe for ya no. So some of those kind of rules our community leaders should reactivate them. Those are the places that people get to meet themselves also and then know that it is okay to work for free.
Padi madalo nurine dikesi we okuna gidi bugweze and then by ne tokwa just like you keep mentioning a lot of things and my name in unison and with that communal kind of living that even when you see an elderly woman probably onya na anorodi mobo no nweronwa people will rally around her, you know, to help her fetch water, clear her compound, and also
with joy
na nyekwa aka ni stiliani and all that. But I know say aketa ya funa some people will tag somebody like that, no a witch, no but and all that. So they will be far away from that person. But all we are doing in this program is trying to see how we can revive the spirit of volunteerism. And now, no wakita I guess I know in digital era we have a lot of things going on in the technology world and innovation, and then we have social media, all those platforms. Then on what to this platform, if we leverage on them, and what to reawaken or revive the spirit of volunteerism.
Part of us is being an example is Monday content makers.
Yes,
those kids.
Yeah.
Let's talk more. Yes. More
awareness.
Yeah, create more awareness. Let's talk more about it. And we can find that consistency. We could see refresh in the mind of the individuals. Upon I get a social media, we go. A lot of content. Our content creators. Talking more about this things, I think all you sell more in the people's hearts.
Yes, another way to say what you just said is, we noticed that advertising or a new dance step phone scroll 2 or 3 posts. We should go back to using our social media to create awareness based on this thing. By the time people see it consistently, it begins to prick something in their mind to say, okay, wow, there's something going on, and it's okay to have things go on in this.
Can you give an example of how it works? You see that just like if you could, one skit maker, Gumadokoro, rephrase here recently. So, Obiadeko Gare of Ma, the next moment, Oje Choba the man may appreciate. Now, within a short period of 1 week, 2 weeks, hundreds of thousands, it's going to get the man.
Thousands of people.
It's to tell you the power of social media. Now, I create more awareness. It will sell more in people's hearts.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, Dikaina Chikotazi Hememai this morning. Of course, the Tata I join all the individuals all over the world in commemorating World International Volunteer Day. Now, Keduka Ayewa, of course, Ayebidogun guy in the studio this morning. Yes. And then Red Cross organization, Amambra, we're planned somewhere, and the government and individuals. How do you advise that we celebrate and, you know, commemorate this day? Joseph.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Anybody?
Okay, I think part of Ife Ainwere is just like the team appreciating the volunteers.
Yes.
It has a long way to play. And in our own, we go and, in fact, we don't just do it on a particular occasion. On are they consistent?
It's a consistent.
It's a consistent something. In fact, look at that is why Ojabo, our volunteers, all over let me use the state. When 800 Faju, yesterday enwere program an achievement Anambra Christmas village carnival whatever.
Christmas village.
They say they need about 30 volunteers from Red Cross. Yesterday we were there at Film Village. Even Carly Mother 30 Jubenine. Just Father Abia kwa kafanyere ndi aka. Father Abia na because no one got involved. And when they got involved. And that is because on a consistent note, if one volunteer Jeniaka, he said thank you. Just thank you here I solve the problem. So we do it on a consistent basis, and we encourage everybody to do such. If one only need Madaka, thank you. Find a way to appreciate that person. It has a long way to, encouraging that person to do more. Or if we can recognize here, just like you said, and when somebody gets say aka, and when they go to more problem, as aka no nya no one as not abko nya ni mere mi fan ma ni obutere. Man, if you made mad na fofu.
And then talking about what Red Cross is doing also, we give people this certificate of donation. Like we tend to appreciate people for what they are doing. Like there are people who have been consistent in donating to our motherless baby home. You get such people, we bring out our time to tell them we appreciate what you're doing. Sometimes we even go for courtesy visits.
Okay.
So as small as it seems, those courtesy visits can trigger in the heart of this person and say, oh, okay, wow, I don't even know, I wasn't doing it for appreciation. However, I feel good. So you now notice that by doing some of these things, the Red Cross have continued to encourage her volunteers.
All right. Adima ndioma gela yente ba kanya bu milizo siwe na abacha ni hemmai una nugo kaisi we kwe na revive the spirit of volunteerism abray for game oi haini ne geji getako on weme starting from the family in our churches, in our villages, communities, and then the society at large. We all need to come together. Photo I guess we nyaka kaire awaken kwa that spirit maka de ko mubago de ka ndi madede chezebaki they don't even want to talk about it again or act towards it again. So it's important that this day is set aside. We discuss the importance of being a volunteer, and then also our society in terms of social development and other things associated with it. And as you know, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Peculiar Arinze about Disaster Management Coordinator, Nigeria Red Cross Society, Anambra State Branch. And also Mr. Joseph Obidigwe, about Branch Communication Coordinator, Red Cross Anambra. For me, the Red Cross Media. Media. Thank you so much for joining us. Adi mandi by dalo the rinne needs to your life because I malozi gesi when yellow madi begaka tata kabu oge nya taka bu wobuni de maybe before because you keep it today. My name is Chidema Oranwa Dalo and echini nega bofo boselzo tutulu ga ho kemesian.